Welcome to Season 2 of Pod Practice, where Mama Bird alumni Quinn Feiner, Mikey Lund, and myself, Alex Atkins, talk about Ultimate from the perspective of players and coaches. We want to engage with you, so please reach out, say hi, ask a question, give some feedback. We look forward to talking with you. To reach out, follow us on Instagram or YouTube at podpractice_pod. Listen on Spotify at Pod Practice, or email us at show@podpracticepod.com. I hope you enjoy this episode.
All right, so we are recording this the week after Smoky Mountain Invite, which was a fun, unique experience for all of us for different ways. We were Kins, we missed you, but
Coach K is what they were calling me.
Coach K, that is good, actually.
It's really good.
You need to dye your hair even darker brown. So if you didn't follow along, Quinn and I did we were lucky enough to join the Ulti World stream on Sunday and commentate 3 games. One with Chris Mazer. We got to watch the Birdies play against North Carolina and watch Coach K in action. It was super fun. We also had a side-by-side Twitch stream, which was I don't know if we did this again. I might try to do this YouTube live or something. I've actually had a couple of requests on can we post VODs or video? Was that video on demand? Short clips of the Twitch stream. Honestly, folks, I don't think that'd be. You'd just be staring at me and Quinn. But the way we did it was mostly just for the chat function, so we could talk to you all. So if you do have feedback on how we could execute that better in the future, assuming we get another chance to, which I bet we will, please give that. But Quinn, what did you think? What were the high points and low points?
Yeah, I mean it was a really good time. Even though I was at Mike's house at 6:30 a.m. to
watch. You texted me 5:45.
It was insane.
In the morning.
Yeah, it was insane. It was a great time. I think the starting off maybe not really a low point, but just clearing the air on what we set out to do, which I think we did a really good job on what we set out to do. I don't think I think a lot of people expected us to be doing play-by-play commentary, and 1, we'd be terrible at that, just complete dog shit at that. And 2, that's just not what we were going to do. We kind of went at it with a for NFL fans, a Manning cast approach, where we just watch and we provide insight and just our thoughts, and it's just more casual like that. So I had a really good time. It was really fun watching Bird play. I always love watching Bird play. They went out early, but it's a tale as old as time with UNC. So what can you expect, I guess? But and then on cue, BE Ultimate posting the Liam Searles Bose Callahan that ended my career as well today. What's going on with that, guys?
That came up when we were doing the stream with Mazer. That was the 3rd place game, the Pitt versus North Carolina game. That's a sick play though.
Yeah, super sick. Yeah, it's a great time. Hope we get to do it again.
Yeah, it was super fun. I rewatched the Bird game so I could break down stuff and send it out to the team. At first it was hard to listen to. Then I kind of was like, this, you know what? We weren't as bad as I thought.
But it's hard to listen to in the way that our voices sound so terrible to yourself. I can't listen to myself.
Honestly, at this point, I've gotten used to hearing my own voice from doing this.
Yeah.
Mikey's voice is nice though, so it's probably easier.
Is that true? Thank you. I would never
it's
have
very
said that about
NPR
myself.
Soft. Good voice.
It was fun doing the Bird Dark Side game because we do know so many players. We did get good feedback on that it was nice that we knew both teams so well. And we're able to give good insight on what each team does. I gained more empathy, I think, for traditional commentators. There's this current debate on the LT World Discord about jerseys especially for college teams. It happens in club tournaments too, where nobody has numbers, or they're just wearing, cutoff tees.
Or they have jerseys and it's a white with a light blue number and you can't see it anyway.
Dark side. That was not the most pleasant experience. But I guess I don't have a super strong opinion otherwise. I mean, I don't think it will ever look like a good product if we're wearing, ragtag, Goodwill, or like, different versions of each jersey.
And then pajama pants at Georgia. I will say I'm a huge Aiden Downey fan, so I don't want to talk bad about him, but like the pajama pants don't look good on stream for like professionalism. I like them.
I mean, I wonder if it matters for now,
Probably
like
not.
obviously but like probably for like and I mean for the ESPN games and stuff, but we're probably not at the point where it really matters for now.
But we might be, because like the UFA has way more viewers. And is that because of accessibility? Probably a little bit, but it's probably also because of just the product is just overall cleaner and better, right? Partly.
Yeah, that's true. Like how many people go into an Ulti-World thing and are like, well, this is kind of shit. Never going to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I did think that it was a little, I didn't listen to you guys much, but I did, because I watched the UNC game back. So I did put it on a little bit. I could tell it was going to be a little rushed when we had the meeting with the Ulti-World people.
Oh yeah.
a little is a little bit.
There was definitely some miscommunication. Like we weren't aligned on like what we really wanted. And I think with more time, like we could dial into what we actually want, which is just like us. I saw that you guys had like Coolman, who was like there, right? Correct? Like Noah was like at the house. Like I would like it if I would just include all those people, like have Noah in, have Maddie, and it's just a full on, like my ideal for this is just full on watch party vibes. Like,
yes.
And
Agreed.
they were just kind of like, oh, you're going to be commentating this weekend, but don't worry about being formal. And it's like, okay, good. Like this is a good intro, but it's not what
it was a good foot in the door.
It's a great foot in the door, but it's not like what we were envisioning, and it's not anywhere close to like what we'd want the end product to be.
I could definitely hear Ellie's clacking on my floor, which I enjoy very much. Ellie is Maddie's dog, and we could also hear Maddie ask or answer a couple questions, which I thought was actually added to the experience.
Yeah, because that's what I'd want. It's just like all of us just kind of shouting things out whenever we have a thought. Like it's just super informal, like not feeling like, And I think like end goal there will be like, people were asking for like options. And I think that's like the end goal is like there's a traditional, Evan Lepler and Charlie Eisenhood like broadcast team. And then there's just like us chilling in a basement, like drinking some beers, smoking a little pot, watching the Frisbee game.
See, now that's cool.
We got to get Big Rick on to do one of those.
Boy, we actually, God, we still haven't done that. Well, we have to do that soon, actually. We need the Big Rick pod. I guess I'm ready for it. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I just think that's the ideal. I did think it was funny. There was one funny one in the UNC game where like we were running our pull play and it started with a swing to the sideline and Mikey goes, oh, see, just a swing to the sideline. And then we proceeded to like 3 passes later, we were in the end zone.
Did you hear me also give you credit?
Yeah. Well, you didn't give me credit. You just said it was one of my favorite plays.
Yeah. Well, that was my way of giving you credit.
No, it was nice. Like throughout the weekend, I started getting more comfortable, like dialing some shit up. And it's fun, like calling different plays for the O-line. I really enjoyed it. I thought I got pretty good at it, just, even by like one weekend. But you do get like 6 games. But by the last, I felt pretty good.
I did think some of the flow, the motion in the second half of the North Carolina game, even though we went down, but there were like a couple points where it seemed like really good motion off the pull. And I think there were both points where you probably did tell them to swing to a sideline and then run the set off of that.
I mean, I think a big thing is like having plays that anticipate a sag, because like who isn't sagging the lane, poaching the lane off the reset handler now? Like there's no reason not to. I don't see a good reason to not, at least initially, do that. So I feel like a lot of plays have to have like an option built in for that.
Yeah, you mentioned UCLA too. I was noticing the same thing. They were running vert. They would send it to Riley, and then the other dude would just bust. Would he go deep, or they would go for huge?
No, he'd kind of do like an option, like side cut. Like he'd run straight at the sag and then make a move and either go left or right, break side or open side, and then you just hit him, like kind of just like a simple move, because it's like impossible. I mean, you're like standing still and he's like sprinting at you.
Yeah.
I full on stole that from them and was running it later in the week because I really liked it, honestly. And it's like, why not? Like every team, like, most of the teams were sagging, so there's no point in not doing that.
We did that a little bit against Pony at Pro Champs last year too with Denny. We just send Denny, but not exactly the same way.
I definitely like it. I think it's a good way to start plays. I also appreciated the clip you sent this morning at like 7:50 a.m., which was, I don't know what you guys were talking about, but I assume it was you were talking about good throwers. So you were talking about Calvin, which is like the similar situation. And so that was Mazer who had my back.
So yeah, some context around that. I think Quinn had been talking about Calvin Brown as a top thrower and potentially the top thrower in all divisions right now. And we were asking Mazer about him because he's played with Calvin Brown. He also has known Calvin for a long, long time, like 7 years, he said. And yeah, I see you coming up to the mic, Quinn. Did you have some?
Mazer just goes, well, you guys got Kinsey in your backyard. That's pretty, like, you gotta count him into that too. And we're like, no, we don't. We really
shout
don't.
Out Chris. Shout out Chris for having my back, having some sense.
Kids is pretty long and tall. He could throw it around pretty well.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Chris, by the way, Mazer, I thought he was very polished on the
so
mic.
Good.
He's done a lot. I mean, he's been doing it for like a few years now. So he's pretty comfy.
I kind of cut him off, and I wish I hadn't, because Quinn said something like, we wouldn't want his head to get too big.
I think that's exactly what I said. And
then Mazer was about to say, I didn't realize it could get any bigger or something. But I cut him off.
It's at maximum capacity.
Yeah. Just we can continue to feed the maxed out ego.
Whenever my head gets big, I just think about Pavel destroying us in both divisions. I just think about Pavel beating us in everything. So
felt good. He was coaching UCLA. Felt good to beat them down. Get a little revenge. Yeah. Outcoached Pavel. Yeah. Outcoached Pavel. Outcoached Joe White this weekend.
Suck it, Joe.
Purely outcoached. You
guys did play cut right out in consolation.
They played awful. Yeah, they played awful. Actually, a funny thing about Pavel, they came up, and I don't condone this, by the way. Pavel comes up like second day. We're warming up for the UNC game, and he's like, you guys got any extra discs to spare? Like, we've seemed to have like lost all ours. And like, I was throwing with a smog disc, UCLA disc. I was like, let me see what I can do for you. And we had like 3 of them, which honestly, not a good look. I didn't like that. I don't know who and why and when and where that was going on, but I just want to put my opinion out there, which is I don't condone that.
I'm probably not helping that situation. I think I've described the whole disc situation amongst all Frisbee teams as just an ecosystem.
True.
And, we need to at least end neutral by the end of a weekend, but I'll encourage us to end positive.
Yeah. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, I definitely would like to hear people's feedback. I hope people reach out and give us feedback on like what they thought and what they think it could look like. Because I really hope for like Easterns and maybe a game at Northwest Challenge, we can set up a little more what we're envisioning. And I think we just need to talk to Keith or Charlie and flesh out a little bit more what we.
Yeah, one of the most fun parts of the getting to know some of the LT World crew is the mutual, not disdain, but mutual give Charlie shit vibe. Like everybody was just,
Yeah.
Stick it to the man.
yeah. Going back to the tournament itself, and I guess this isn't just from a commentary perspective, but you being there, Kins, in person, how was it watching a number of guys that had just run at tryouts, the World's tryouts the weekend before?
They look fucking good out there on those fields, dude. They look, because we had first two games, UMass and then Pitt, so Wyatt and Henry,
Yeah.
who were both at. And they just, I mean, their throws are just good. So, we're doing some forced middle and stuff, but it doesn't really affect them. And it's kind of hard to figure out, like, can you even do really much about it? Like, you put a good defender on them. Like, there's probably things you can do, but you don't want to, like, overcorrect just because they're, like, throwing good shots. I mean, Henry's just big as fuck. And so it's, like,
Huge.
it doesn't really matter what the mark is. And if people throw it to him, I mean, he was just a menace. They actually gave us a lot of chances in the second half. I think, like, partly due to pressure, partly due to just, them. But, like, we couldn't touch them in the first half. I don't even know if we got a turn on Pitt. Just they were so much bigger than us. It was ridiculous. Like, it was actually unbelievable. And then UMass, they played well. I was I'm like surprised at how good they performed on the weekend just because I thought they looked good. And so I guess, looking good against Bird, who's also a pretty good team, like, makes sense that you're winning the tournament, but they won pretty handily. And so I was impressed by them for sure.
I think UNC looked good too. They didn't look like perfect. Like the game that they played against you guys, they gave you guys the disc a lot.
Oh,
you guys had a lot of opportunities.
Oh my God.
So if they played that way against UMass, like, and UMass just converts, like, 2 more of those,
like the D-line,
it changes it. You guys just couldn't convert.
The first 4 offensive possessions out of the half, UNC gave us the disc, and we did not do shit diddly.
It was like you gave it back like quickly. It wasn't
So
just like
painful,
we worked it, but it was like 2 throws and it's back.
I can literally think of every single one right now, and it's so painful.
Maybe like the longest possession was a few more passes, but no yards gained.
Yeah,
like, it was so bad. Yeah. And it was actually funny. A parent came up to me probably at like the 3rd point of that going on, maybe the 4th, unnamed, and just goes, "You got to get some handlers out there on the field. You're getting the disc, but you can't fucking convert." And I was like, "Have you seen a handler play defense before?"
I think that Tucker, Calvin, and Carter should play together more. And I think that Tucker should pick up more and let Carter push downfield, let Calvin push downfield, and let them work together. And if they rotate back ever, then they just have to weave for a little bit at least.
Yeah. Well, Calvin and Carter played like pretty much every D line, and then Tucker was like right after them in terms of play time. So they definitely played a bunch together. I mean, I think the whole team, especially the D line, needs to just talk about kind of the flow of offense. And I mean, one thing that we even talked about after that game, going into the next games, was just being more aggressive about. Primarily focused on like the resets, being more aggressive, but just as a team mentality of being more aggressive about attacking space in front of the disc, especially as the reset. Like I can think of the one, and I mean, Carter just missed him, Tucker, on the like give go, but you can't swing the disc back and forth 3 times like with nothing going on because the people downfield can't get open. Like the defenders are good enough that like a loopy swing for no yards, like they can orbit and they know what side to be on. And so like you just have to be able to be aggressive, and we were not being aggressive, and so there were like no real threats, and therefore like it was just holy moly. So hopefully, I think Bird will be working on that and whatnot.
That might have been the only thing I was saying on stream. Was like I wish they were using their legs more,
dude. Yeah, just go, just run. I will say, warming up for that game was fucking electric. It felt so good. Like that game always has a big feeling to it. Like,
Bird, what do you think Darkside thinks about it? I guess we asked Liam about
that. They looked. My feeling is they feel pretty
comfortable.
No, I think they feel more comfortable, but they also feel like they're hype. They're hype about that.
They want to beat us
for sure.
Again,
yeah,
for sure.
When's the last time we beat them?
Nationals 2016, baby, pool play.
No, not that long. 28. We weren't in Nationals 2018.
2016, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Nationals pool play.
No,
my freshman year. Kins is never beat
2017. We beat them. 2017, we beat them. We lost the cut and pool. We beat UNC.
Yeah, that's the year I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. That was spring 2017.
Okay, 16-17 season. Yeah. My freshman year. That was the last time.
We were up on cut like
big.
We were up a couple, and then they ran zone.
Fucking classic.
And then they won Nationals.
Our zone looked better, so that's good. Honestly, our O-line did great. Levi and Toby, holy shit. They played fantastic. They're just dual threats. I mean, they look good. They're definitely like your lane guys. Toby and Levi look great, which is funny because they're both from North Carolina. So sometimes when they score, like we'll do the like North Carolina chant because it's like kind of funny because like a lot of our goals, a high percentage of our goals are Levi and Toby hucking it to each other.
Those two huck turns that Levi had before half were killer though.
Yeah, those were terrible. Those were like the worst he looked all weekend. I know. Because honestly, I mean, TK, hates offense. No secret. He was telling me after that, he was just like, offense was terrible. Both sides, everybody, every possession, everything was terrible about offense, always. And I was like, I thought our offense looked pretty good. Like, all things considered, besides those couple moments, I thought the O-line's offense was fine.
I didn't love it.
For the majority of the game.
I did love it. Yeah. I liked
serviceable.
I liked some of those points. There was like those 2 or 3 points where we scored in
what I will say is the offense did enough to win that game.
For sure. That's what I'm saying. And like the first point was super grindy, but they didn't turn it over. Like they didn't have a lot going for them, but they didn't turn it over. There were some good flow points. I don't know how many turns they had. I know that there were a couple. There was a really bad point before half. Obviously, the Levi one right before that as well. But like before that, they got broken like the second or third point. But before that, everything had been going good. If they get broken once going into half, and it's fucking 8-6, then like we're doing fantastic. The problem is we had those 2 breaks going into half, and then we never got the momentum back. They were just putting up really nice shots too, and just letting their playmakers make plays, like, which was super frustrating to see. Because I'm like, I wish we could just do that. Like they weren't making like great throws; they were making good throws to really good players, and just let like Dameron and Rutledge just like go up and get them, which was
Rut was killing.
Well, I mean, Dameron skied Buck and Rut skied Seth and
Dylan skied
someone else, right? Oh my God, those 3 plays are like you're losing the game. You can't. You're not winning a game in which
come back from that.
You're not winning a game in which that happens to you 3 times, because those weren't like 3 those were 3 like you just got destroyed plays.
It's not the same thing, but it kind of reminded me of our our pool play game against Machine the year we
No,
won.
100%.
It was just
100%.
like Jarv made that catch over Kerr,
Yes.
and then I made that catch over Bansfield and
Rutledge.
and Rutledge, and it was like what Joe said. Joe was like, when you made that play at a half, I knew we were losing. It's like you don't come back from those. Like that's just the way it goes.
And that's just like the momentum is like, because we had the momentum until we
Hucked it away.
which is so sad to think about, but we really did have the momentum, and we couldn't get it back. So that's unfortunate. We played well. I mean, it was a pretty good weekend overall. I mean, losing by 1 to the other teams was all
That's
right.
what I was gonna say. I think you guys had a good weekend. It's a regular season tournament. It doesn't like winning. It doesn't really matter. I think overall it was pretty solid weekend.
Definitely. I'm definitely solid. You'd like to come out with those ones against like you. Like this Bird team is really right on the cusp of being elite, like top 2, right on the cusp. But they're not.
But they're like more like 4 to 7 right now, 5 to 7, 5 to 8.
Yes.
But they're so close.
They are a couple things away from being.
You got to maximize these next 2 months here.
For sure. Because they are truly a couple
months.
plays, a couple things away from being like finals for sure. But like right now, they're like semis.
Imagine
Maybe.
if they had Danny. Oh, dude, that would make such a big the cheesemosis would make such a big difference.
He's so good. Like we go disc golfing a good amount, and he's actually like, he's not that good at disc golf. Like he's pretty new, but like he just is a gamer, like at things. Like he just is athletic in the sense of like other things, like not the physical athleticisms, like other like
Coordination.
Yeah, he's very coordinated, very good at just like he is just a gamer. And so, God, I'm just reminded of that when he does things and when I hang out with him. And it is a bummer, but he's looking good. Saw him hit a jog today. He'll be there. He'll be back sooner than later.
I hope so.
Cheesemosis Jones.
I want to ask about the other tryouts. Who else was there? Wyatt?
So it was Wyatt and Henry, and then it was Jacques and Ben, and that
and Calvin
Calvin.
Right,
Bird.
Right, Calvin.
So there were 5 world
and Toby.
tryouts. And oh my gosh, how am I just forgetting the
Toblerone.
Laroni.
Yeah.
6 current college guys.
That's fucking crazy.
And
2 of them were on Bird, god damn it.
Yeah.
So what the fuck are we doing?
We had two high percentage were gassed from tryouts.
and Rutledge as well. So UNC
and Rut.
Oh my god. Okay, 7.
Yes, and that has to fucking be it.
And we're probably forgetting someone.
No, can't be.
That's crazy though.
It's funny. It's funny to watch Rut play at like tryouts versus play at college because his role is so different. His role is so different. He wasn't taking anybody deep at tryouts, which I didn't expect him to, but then he's just booming on people.
Yeah.
At college.
I think he should. Like, I don't know. I feel like he could have opened it up more at tryouts, to be honest. I think that's a confidence.
Henry is not throwing as much at
No, Henry didn't throw at tryouts. Henry was just going deep at tryouts.
He throws. He had some throws.
Was it clear that they're all above the other players on the field?
For sure. Like in college. For sure. Yeah.
I think there's people that are close. I think there's people that are close, but yeah, you can tell.
Like Buck is right there.
Like Buck is just as good as all those guys.
But I think Buck would have got a tryout if he had applied. Maybe.
I agree. Yeah.
So.
And I think like Kevin Pignoni's close.
The youngster.
My favorite player.
K-Pig. I think he's close. I think the Hawkins. No. I think Hawkins. Not Hawkins. Sorry, Hawkins is very good, but not.
He's fine.
Not yet.
Well, they both have limitations. Kevin is so smaller.
Yeah.
So small.
Not super athletic guy.
Mike? What was? There was the battle of Georgia and
Aidens.
I think the Aidens are good.
The Aidens are good.
Wait, who's the other Aiden?
Aiden Landis and Aiden Downey.
Yeah, those couple
I think-
guys on pit.
I think Aiden Downey is very, very, very good.
Yeah.
Also, just shout out my boy Roger Zhang.
Roger Zhang, dude,
Who's
little
that?
guy. He's a number 28, I think.
on pit.
Little Asian guy.
Just cooking.
Zippy.
He scored deep more than Ing did. And he's probably 5'5".
He was tiny.
Like, what makes me sad is that when there's people like that on the field, like, we don't, as a team, have the ability
To
to like
recognize.
be on a point and be like, this guy is so much shorter than me. Let me
Throw it deep.
run deep. Like, would it be totally crazy to go stand in the end zone with a short? Like, let's say it's not windy. Let's say you're a foot taller than the guy. Is it crazy to go stand in the end zone?
So, I mean, when I see Henry out there, I'm like, why? If he's not throwing it, why is he not just standing in the end zone?
Like, is that crazy? Because I think about that sometimes. Like, or as a like, I don't know. To me, I feel like it should be done
I kind
more.
of agree.
Like, I like if you can read the disc, there's literally it's like a post up in basketball.
Yeah,
Like it's just
if
like
if Quinn threw 10 500 balls up to the end zone and it's me versus you,
10 out of 10.
like,
Well,
I'm not
10.
catching any of them, right?
No.
no,
No, I'm catching every single one. I promise.
I think you
swear to
might
God.
you might doink one
No.
or two just from the pressure.
No,
Yeah.
I swear to God, no. Depends on your throws. We did. This
We
is.
should try this.
We
Should we
did.
film that?
We should film this. This is so good.
We can, and I'm telling you, it'll be 10 out of 10. We did a go get it drill. I'll never forget this day. It was me, Ben Harris, Calvin, Stalin. We went to Kit. We did go get it. And there was the clearest hierarchy I have ever seen in my life. Like,
You,
if
Calvin,
it was me
Ben.
versus Ben, which is sad because Ben is actually really tall. So, like, if it was me versus Ben, Ben could not catch a single one. If it was Calvin versus Ben, Ben could not catch a single one. And then when it was me versus Calvin, Calvin could not catch a single one.
How
And-
many you think I could get with me and you?
I think if you have, I think it's
I think
gonna be
I could
tough
get-
for you.
I
That's-
agree, but I think I could get one or two.
Calvin
sure.
jumps just about as high as you, huh?
No.
Quinn?
No.
Not quite.
No.
And then it was like a running joke for a while because Calvin would say, one more,
Okay.
because like it would be a joke that like it was gonna be one more. And I think like on like a 15th rep, Calvin, like me kind of tired, not trying as much. Calvin did like chase one down and like catch it on me. But
Well, you know what happens when you underestimate the David versus the Goliath, as I wouldn't say Quinn maybe did not underestimate the noodle.
No, it didn't. No. I'm just happy people think he's fast now.
the noodle.
He's not slow.
So to recap for everyone listening,
Mm.
Quinn went to bird practice. I wasn't there. Raced Noodle, Felix. I don't know his last name. Freshman on bird, who they said
I don't know his
ran
last
like
name
a
either.
noodle.
He does run like a noodle.
He
And
does.
apparently-
I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Apparently, Felix won.
I think I leaned him at the end, but you don't think so?
I don't
Have you
know. It
seen
just
the
doesn't
footage?
sound good. It
No,
doesn't. It
it's-
doesn't. And none of it
No.
sounds good.
Honestly,
I don't think-
I was expecting you to beat him by 5 yards.
Yeah, me too. And I think maybe if I was at full strength, I would have beat him. But dude, I'm not there. I'm not
We'll
there.
have to re-race.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I'm really not. I'm just happy we did it and it was fun and people got a kick out
And
of
we'll
it.
post it online.
Yeah, I'm fine.
it was
with that.
filmed.
Oh, for sure.
I have
Nice.
I have the trail
Slow-mo.
camera. It's terrible,
Nice.
but-
Yeah, the trail camera does nothing. Yeah, so that's pretty funny. What else? I think that's it for Smoky, right?
Yeah, I think so. Last topic, I guess we have written down is the videos, the Podlights.
Oh
They
yeah.
were fun to make and rewatch and relive a little bit.
Yeah.
I love those songs too, by the way, Mikey. Like the Revolver one, and actually all of them. Like the Ring of Fire song is good, but like the other ones,
The
like
vibes of the other ones are,
I
yeah.
love them. Like they're
Yeah.
so good. Like the Revolver one
The Revolver
really
one.
gets me.
Yeah, the Revolver one
Going.
vibes really hard.
And so does but honestly
They all do.
the Machine and the Truck one vibe. But the Revolver one is like maybe, I don't know, that one and the Machine one are my two favorites. I noticed that they actually increase in viewership and popularity. Like each one, next one that we posted got more and more. I don't know
Is that
why
true?
that is. Yeah. Not
On
sure what's up
YouTube.
on YouTube.
On YouTube.
I don't know about like Instagram, but
Yeah, for some reason when we collabed the Ring one and you posted it's actually less views, but whatever.
By 4.
Really? Only by, well, whatever. But views?
views of you,
views.
man.
Views. I don't know about views.
Likes are still
Likes. I was
around the
looking at
same.
likes. Yeah.
So likes per view higher, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah, can I put my artiste hat on for a second?
Yes.
Actually, it's funny how I love watching Frisbee, obviously. So like putting things to music is fun. It's fun going through the footage and then finding, you clip it and then things just sort of accidentally work out. And then sometimes like, I'm very intentional about some things happening on beat, but then there's like other little things. One of my favorite sequences is actually in that first video, the truck one, when Kins, you catch that deep one and then you like pop out from behind the stack and you can like see you flexing. And it actually, I did not intend for that, but it's just right on cue with the music. And then the music slows down again. And I didn't intend on this either, but it's 2 clips of you catching and then pivoting. Like it almost looks like you're waltzing to the beat of that Rolling Stone song. And I just love that. And then the Ring of Fire song was just obvious. Like, why not just choose that? And then I tried to think of songs that were meaningful, but I really couldn't so I just chose ones that I liked. And I've actually used the Moon song I was like, well, Revolver is a moon, whatever. Plus, I had made a video recently of my dog who passed away a year and change ago. So that was like my way of getting myself in the video and my dog in the video.
I remember that dog post, Mikey, and me and Devin were sitting at home like crying about we were both like, he has to stop posting this stuff.
I know. Eventually I can't keep posting boss content for the rest of my life.
You could.
I could. And the Machine one is actually from Samurai Champloo. Have you guys, Quinn? Have you ever watched that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, well, I want something that's. I think I said this about the end of that video, that it makes me happy and sad at the same time, and that song kind of makes me happy and sad at the same time.
I'm a big fan of Samurai Champloo. Actually, this might be a hot take, but I might like it more than Cowboy Bebop.
They're very close to me.
I put them in a very similar category in terms of animes too. They're both very similar styles.
They're made by the same
people. Like they're very, very similar. One is just like outer space, and one is like samurais. Yeah. I think I like Samurai Champloo a little bit better. Just I don't know.
They're both top 5 for me.
Yeah, if you've seen both and want to weigh in on it, DM us.
I'm trying to think if there's one other sequence that just worked out that I liked a lot. Oh, one thing that I mentioned to you guys too is definitely shout out Richard for getting us the footage.
Seriously.
I really enjoy this high quality 4K stuff because as like that nerdy type of Frisbee person, a coach, I really enjoy watching the sequence of passes, or like not just like one big play, but just like a lot of simple fundamental things that are happening at such a fast pace, and you can see all like the little stuff that the players on the field are doing.
And I think it's funny too, because like a lot of those like simple little things then lead to a highlight every once in a while. Like a couple of them are like that happens, and then like the last catch or the last throw is like a highlight. So I think that's cool too.
Yeah.
One of the things I liked from it and that I took from it and appreciated was Quinn and I realized have really good chemistry, especially when it comes
sure.
to getting the disc off the sideline. Like I
For
don't think
sure.
I appreciated that to the extent at which it is displayed in the videos, because there's a bunch of clips where we do the timing of you get the disc on the sideline, pump it up the sideline, and as you're pivoting to look around, the reset is
Opening
chop
up.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like opening up their hips and you're hitting it. And it's just like so satisfying to watch.
It's funny because I noticed that too, and there's even like clips in those videos of like either of us, of more you. I feel like you catch it on the sideline a little bit more than I do, but like more you catching on the sideline. And if I'm not your dump, like we kind of get stuck sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and you hold this for a while.
There's
like a couple of them, and it's funny.
a cute moment that you know how, by the way, you know how like when you're in high school and writing a book report and you're like, why does this fucking matter? Like my teacher's asking me to make up all this shit about this book, and like we all have different perspectives and whatever. So anyway, my point is like how I'm placing meaning into something that's not actually there. But this little cute moment was the revolver game last point. Kins does catch it on the sideline and is like pivoting, scanning, and he looks like kind of like a lost puppy, like looking for his owner. And then like you see Quinn downfield, and then you kind of lock in on him, and then wait a beat, and then just let it rip.
Just chuck it. Yeah,
it's like, where's
funny too.
My safety blanket?
Because I threw that under to him to the side, and then I catch the deep shot. And after that point, actually, Kins walked up to me and goes, "Why were you open?" I was like, "I don't know."
No, I remember saying that like right after I threw it. I looked at the sideline and I was like, "He's so open! Like, why is he so open?" No, that is one, because like that one's interesting because I throw a fat backhand pump fake and Michael is fully on the ground.
Yeah.
He
Yet,
lays
like,
out,
we're not able to get anything. Like, I know tape went upline and it is kind of open, but like something about the timing. For some reason,
like
I
two
don't
people
hit
in the
it.
space,
It's just like the
too.
timing, and then I wasn't able to hit it around. And it's kind of like what you're talking about with the rhythm and the timing just being off. Another one of the sequences I liked was from the truck game where I catch it on the sideline. You throw me like an upline, I catch it on the sideline, and you kind of go to clear like on the sideline side. And I see like nothing happening, and I like motion to you to go behind me.
Around, yeah.
And then I just kind of like push past it and you hit it. And that's another one of those moments though where I just feel like our willingness to just like move the disc quickly, I think, is kind of underrated. Like I think watching a lot of college teams, like maybe, you know, I don't throw it to you because like, you know, a lot of people like, I'm just throwing it to you. We lose a couple yards. It's not like necessarily, I mean, you're going to be able to throw it around, but it's not necessarily the most like exciting look for most people to just like throw that back. And then the same with how you like immediately throw it to the middle. I just think like a lot of people you would see on teams, maybe like, you know, like you catch the disc off that and for some reason just like stare at upfield for like a couple seconds instead of just like moving it.
It's like a little bit of improv that turns into offense.
Yeah, totally. Like it's total improv that we're just like making work because we're moving the ball. Similar like in the machine game, there's one where like there's nothing happening downfield. Like I throw you the around off the centering pass, and then you throw like there's nothing, you can't continue it downfield. You throw it in a 45 back like forward pass to me, like which honestly they were playing bad defense on. Like watching it back, like Valley gives that, and then Mikhail gives you one on the same point, which is like honestly that's one of my pet peeves. Like I hate when people give that up so free, like especially on that backhand side, like such an easy righty backhand throw for most people that like when you just face guard and are like 5 yards off.
Yeah.
And people do it like to no end. It's actually super interesting, and I use it all the time, and I feel like I get it. Like on those 45 back,
if either of you were playing D that way, TK would just be
freak the fuck out. I mean,
I think you get it a lot, Kins. I think
I get it.
People
much.
underestimate your quickness. I think people, when they mark you in the handler set, they're like, I'm just gonna lock them down. And then it's like, well, no, you're not. Like,
yeah,
no,
I don't know what
not.
it is. Like,
I would love
that.
for the bird guys to get that more too.
It would be so funny to have a stat on that because I get that way higher, like over 25%. I would say, like close to like a quarter or more of the time I'm like fat pace 45 back, especially in the middle, because I get it in the truck game at on Universe at least twice, and I just remember even after that point being like, why the fuck are you giving me that? And the funny thing about that is I think maybe AJ was on me maybe that point, but like he had given it to me once earlier in the game. So I'm like, why are you giving this to me? Like, you've also seen it before. You know it's coming, and yet you aren't adjusting. That's crazy.
It almost makes me think that teams don't mind it as much
as we do.
I don't understand how could you not? It's like I'm running upfield with no mark. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like,
I think teams are really playing more denial defense. They're just trying to take everything away.
Willing to take the chance. Because like
I agree.
AJ's a great defender. Like he's probably not doing that just to do it. Like I'm sure there's a reason. Like J Val's a great defender. I'm sure they like that's like what they're doing. I don't know.
I think it's dumb. And because to me also it's like such a, there's like those moments almost where like the pressure or tension is building, like the defense is taking away the looks you want, and you can like kind of feel the pressure building, and like that cut is always like a deep breath, like reset.
It is. It's
like we're going upfield, you're looking forward, like it's always that relaxing deep breath,
that exhale. Exactly.
Yeah. And I think that's why you just can't give it up, like because when you're keeping them back there and forcing them to throw, like so much harder. So
that's a good point. So last night we're at bird practice. We were working on we were working on I guess without saying exactly what we were working on, basically staying positive, getting resets that are positive of the disc in the inside space, the skinny space, whatever. I'll just say it. And we were talking about pros of doing that versus catching a negative reset like the Pepes, like overall what we call Pepes. I think we're okay with both because as long as they lead to another pass, like ideally a break look or something, or give go opportunity. But it is that sort of pressure relief, right? Like there's also like this psychological feeling of like, thank God, like I'm in an unmarked upfield position now versus like I've just lost yards. We have to fight to get it back.
The game slows down when you catch it like that. I feel like when you catch it like 45 behind Pepe's and it's like the game is like everybody's freaking out and your defender's on you and you're like, ugh. But that one's just like, it's kind of like chill. You just like clap catch it and just like dish.
Yeah, the metaphor is like you twist the cap a little bit on like the super carbonate. Like you shook
the Sprite.
Like you're like shaking up. Like when the defense is clamping down, you're like shaking up the bottle. And when you get those, you just like just a little bit of release.
Did you make that up? That's good.
Yeah, because I think it's really a simple just pressure metaphor. I think we're going for. But
I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
And it's funny how it does really feel like that. But yeah, because the machine point I was talking about, we also do it with Buck, and we can't get anything downfield. But I think that was a great like example of like when you can't get things downfield, how to just like get it, start just focusing on the handlers. Because I think that's what we were talking about a little bit. Like we were saying, like the bird stack was too deep, and I think like in situations like that where you throw like an under and you don't get in that many yards, and then you like can't hit an under and maybe you throw a reset, like it makes sense sometimes that the stack gets deep. And I think that's just a good time to be like, all right, handlers, like let's play some 3v3 here for a second and get a good upfield look. That's going to like actually, open up a new window and make a good opportunity for someone to cut downfield. Cause it's like what we were talking about too with Tucker and Carter. Like if you're just swinging the disc back and forth and like there's no real threats, it's just so hard to get open downfield. Like it's just really, really difficult.
Yeah, I think that's another huge pro, right? We also touched on that at practice, and I think the overall sentiment is what I want to convey more than what we were even working on. Like, I don't care how you do this, but if you are disconnected from your downfielders, all of your cutters who are out of position and too deep and being fronted, if you can just reset the disc slightly positive, all of a sudden those defenders are out of position. You can send it deep to those receivers. But if you even lose 5, 6, 7 yards, you can't shoot to that person. I mean, that's like a 15.
Yeah, exactly. And as soon as you catch an under, it's so easy to shoot to people because they're like, 10 yards deep of you. Like, it's just a beautiful. What was Bryce calling his? Because he had chunk yardage, he had read option, but was there not one in between that kind of was like explaining this?
The different phase of the game. There was something else. Yeah.
I think his was read option, chunk yardage, end zone, reset. So what I would call the build phase, he calls read option. Well, actually, I'm not sure if that's accurate. Maybe his build is different than my. His
maybe
read
it's
option
reset.
is different than what I think.
Maybe because I feel like read option was like pool play, kind of like starting the point.
I think you're right.
So maybe this is just reset. I think this is just reset and just like you're resetting to get to chunk yardage.
I consider it build. That's what I would call build. So like,
yeah, I like build better because reset kind of implies to me it has the connotation of like negative, like those kind of things, whereas like negative yardage and like that kind of stuff.
For me, reset is like we're not able to, like, if we use Nuts language, which is let me see if I remember it. Pressing the advantage, maintaining an advantage, or losing an advantage. I think like you're always fighting for advantage. Mm-hmm. In a reset, you're maintaining and maybe resetting advantage, or maybe losing. But in a build phase, like it's where you're still trying to press the advantage, put pressure on the defense. But at some point, you do have, like, it's more important to possess than attack. And ideally, your resets can quickly sequence into a build, but that's the difference for me. And actually, going back to that machine point, although like the flow was honestly kind of choppy because like it's clipped to be a little bit faster leading up to the throw from Quinn to Calvin. But like they allow our resets to be more or less building to something. And then that final one, when Buck gets it to, he can, what do we call that? Chisel, whatever. He's able to hit that upfield reset to Quinn. Quinn then hits Calvin on his skinny, and he hits Chance on his skinny, and then Chance throws the goal. So like, I'm honestly kind of putting my coach hat on, hoping that a few Mama Bird people are listening to this and saying like, okay, Mike, I kind of get what you're saying at practice last night, and maybe buy into it a little bit more.
Underrated part of that play, I was downfield, and I forget exactly what happened, but I think they were trying to bracket or do something.
I don't think you were on that point.
I was. And I think maybe it was Goff guarding Jarv or something, but I made like an undercut because Goff, either they were bracketing or I could just tell Goff had his eyes on me and not on Jarv. And I kind of made like a 75% undercut while pointing at Jarv, and Chance read it perfectly and hit Jarv in the back corner.
Yeah.
Underrated, just FYI. But anyway, wrapping up that part, those sequences are I appreciated more after watching it. And like I said in the text today, like I did really get hyped up watching that one of me slap the fuck out of my knee after I scored, and then slap the fuck out of my head. And then I love how clear the yell is as well, because I just remember how hyped I was at that moment, and it really
a little unhinged for sure.
Oh, so unhinged. It got me going. So, but that's because it was like all the doubt of like, am I going to be able to play in this game? And then catching the deep on like the second point, it was like, all right, like,
point, yeah.
And it was kind of like a release kind of like another release of pressure in that same sense, where like all that pressure is building up of like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to really perform, and then you score and boom, you just hit yourself really hard. Definitely too hard. Like I might have hurt myself more or concussed myself, but it was so worth it.
Yeah, no, when I this is similar but different, but when I caught that in the truck game, when I caught that one over Edmonds that you threw to me, I maybe the hardest, most aggressive butt spike known to man. Like it hurt, but it was sick.
Yeah, there's something to be said though about making those play, like making a big play over Edmonds, where you do. It's like, okay, I've arrived. It's like seeing the ball go through the net, kind of like.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just thought of this, because like you were talking about youth catching it over Edmonds and stuff, and we were also talking about UNC earlier throwing good passes up to their players. But I think like a nice slogan for Huckers should be throw good throws to great players, not great throws to good players.
I kind of like that. You got some Coach K's coming out with the
Coach K.
isms today.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like I don't actually, like, if you actually look at like who I huck to, like, I don't usually huck it to that many people. Like, I definitely throw some to Denny. Like, I'll throw hucks to different people, but like a crazy disproportionate amount go to Quinn. And that's because it's just so much easier, because then all I have to do is throw a good throw. And
The
maybe
Coach
like
Kism.
maybe like what that's not encapsulating is the like defender, you know? Because like I know that one of the shots I missed to Quinn was when Yacht was guarding him in a Summit game, and I like actually tried to make
You
it
also
great.
boomed it out of the back of the end zone.
Well, and that's because I was instead of what I normally do, which is just throw
yeah.
it up and let you make a play.
I'm not sure you can hang it when Yacht's on me.
Exactly. So I tried to make a great throw. So maybe it's like make a
Pay
good
attention
throw
to your matchups, folks.
So maybe it's like make a good throw to a great matchup, not great throws to a
I like
good
that.
matchup.
I like that. I
I
think
don't know. Maybe give me a shot against Yacht next time. Maybe I'll wreck his shit. I don't know.
You got you did get a layout D on him, didn't you?
I got a huge layout D on him.
Under.
Okay, I'll throw unders to Quinn all day on Yacht.
That's more horizontal. I think Yacht might have me in the vertical plane.
Yeah, that's a scary one to put up for sure. Like the way I normally throw you the ball against other people, I don't think would work against Yacht, which is why that one I tried to like have it more be like one where you run on to, and it was just too low and far. I threw that huck to you like everyone throws hucks to me.
What does that mean?
That means
Kins can't catch up to hucks.
Oh, okay. I had one final thought, and it's leaving me because I listened to Coach K isms for too long.
Yeah, if you haven't seen them, go on our Instagram and watch those Podlights. I know Mike worked hard on them, and they're really good. So give us some feedback on them. Let us know what you think. We're trying to do more of that type of thing. So let us know what you think.
Coach Kisms.
Coach Kism.
Coach Kisms.
Sweet. I did want to say one more thing, but I don't remember what it was. So
yeah,
let's get out of here. Oh no, I do remember. And that is, I guess, really, I was thinking about other people that are making plays in those videos, and just, shout out to great teammates. Like we're so lucky.
Oh yeah.
To have the team that we have, like those videos, like I was really trying to celebrate you two as much as possible. And obviously Noah's making huge plays. Denny's in there. Tape is all over the place. Becky catches a couple of hammers. Like we are so lucky. And I want to say that there's nothing better than being part of a good team. So if you are out there seeking that, I guess, like, I don't know how to put it into words. I guess it's the best feeling. So thank you to all of our Bravo teammates. And, we have a summit meeting later tonight. Same to you.
Except Summit, we're all bad teammates, but Bravo, we're great teammates.
Yeah, something like that.
Boom.
That's a good Mikeyism. Nothing better than being on a great team.
Yeah. All right.
Coach Kism.
Coach Kism.
I'll see you guys in a couple hours.
Toodaloo.
Be
See ya.
seeing you.